What does it mean to be productive to you? To me, I've always thought of productivity as a observable metric sort of thing. It's how many pages I read today, or did I go in the cold shower? Did I play chess today? How long did I meditate for? It's always something to do with whether I did or didn't do something that is perceived as good or bad for a period of time. That's always been what productivity has been in my mind until recently. And recently I realised that productivity is not about how much or how little we do of things that we deem good or bad, but it's about serving the best version of yourself. And it's about doing what you need to do. Now, I got myself into a very good place as a result of this monk like approach to life. But I also gave myself a lot of problems that I'm still trying to work out. And that's because the very essence of living this way of being productive has gaps, and it doesn't allow for integration. It doesn't allow for making yourself the best version of yourself in a society. And for me, I found that as a result of doing this, I couldn't speak to people. I found it really difficult to empathize with people. I found it difficult to have a comedic conversation with someone unless I was really comfortable with that person. I couldn't even really associate with family members as such. I just didn't feel attached because you get into this perpetual feeling of am I doing my routine at the moment? Am I doing as much as I can to be productive at the moment? And then even a slight resentment for those that don't, which creates this sort of divide. And recently I realized that productivity is about what you need to do. And what I mean by that is, though on paper, pardon the pun, the best kind of productivity as such is writing or reading a book or researching something. If you've already done that and that's something that you're used to doing and that's something you're good at doing, the amount of progress you get from writing every day for a year to writing every day for 2 years is tiny compared to not having any conversations with people on day-to-day basis versus having a whole year of conversation on a day-to-day basis. There's such a drastic change in the latter. Yet in terms of a productivity routine, you wouldn't say that going out for a coffee and just speaking to the barista is productive, but it is. You know, you're enhancing yourself, you're enhancing your skills, and you're refining an edge to your character that needed refining. And I think it's so easy to get caught up in this world of how much of this did I do, how much of that did I do, that we forget that productivity requires that you ask yourself on a consistent basis, where do I need to improve? And that's not limited to academia. It's not limited to strength. It's not limited to physical reading, writing, learning sorts of things. It can also be, you do know what? Maybe I'm not very good at taking myself a little bit, maybe I take myself too seriously. Maybe there's something I could do to work on that. That's part of being productive. If you are someone who goes from being overtly serious to learning to laugh at yourself, that's productivity. You're improving yourself, and that is the essence of the productivity movement that we're in at the moment. It's about improving yourself. That's all of it. That's all this is about. No one cares to be productive for the sake of it. We want to improve. We want to be better than we were. And I think asking yourself on a general basis, where am I not so good? Where could I get better? Is the way to be productive. If you don't pay so much attention to your spouse, or if you're not that good of a son, if you don't integrate with your friends in the same way, if you don't go out of your way to be kind to someone for the sake of it, starting doing these things will give you so much more fulfillment, so much more growth, so much more happiness than reading another book will. So with that being said, just think about it.